Hey everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about why it feels like you're spinning when you meditate. And this might actually not be something you're experiencing at the moment, but there are a lot of people who get the sensation of spinning when they meditate, and it can be really confusing. It can be quite scary for some people. It will literally feel like their entire torso or their entire body for some people is spinning, and it's really confusing. And I've not seen much on the internet about why this happens, and so I wanted to make a video today to detail exactly why it feels like you're spinning, what to do about it, whether it's something you need to be careful with, whether there's anything in particular that you need to do. I'm going to go through all of that in today's video. So I want to create a bit of a foundation that will help you to understand this phenomenon of spinning when you meditate, because there is a reason, obviously, as to why this happens. And if you don't know the foundations, it won't really make sense to you. So many of my students will understand that I put a lot of emphasis when it comes to meditation on our body position, for one. So body position and the importance of a mudra. So a mudra is a hand position, and a body position is known as an asana. So I put a lot of emphasis when I teach my students on getting a formalized body position. So that may be using a stool, it may be using a cushion, it can be using a chair as well, but there are certain intricacies that if they're not done, you're not really maximizing your potential in meditation. Likewise with mudras. If you don't hold your hands in a correct and what I would call quote unquote proper mudra, you're not maximizing your energy, you're not maximizing your time meditating. And I'm going to explain why that is. So a lot of my students will be laughing now because I do put a lot of emphasis on this. There is an energy within the atmosphere that we all draw in, and it actually keeps us alive, and it's called prana. In China, that's the terminology in the yogic traditions. In Chinese philosophy, it's called qi. It's spelled qi, sometimes it's spelled chi. And in Japanese philosophy, it's called ki. Now, these three ways of describing this energy are simply ways of describing the same energy. So they all refer to the same energy. And this can confuse people as well, because they can hear some people talking about chi, some people talking about prana, some people talking about ki, and they're like, what is going on here? Are these all different types of energy? No, they're not. They're all exactly the same energy, just different cultures using different words to describe it. So chi is our very life force energy. We get most of our chi from the sun, and we draw chi in when we breathe. Now, scientifically, they don't fully understand chi. They can't really measure chi. So it's not something that is scientifically proven. But this has been a big part of yogic and Chinese philosophy for thousands of years. It is the entire reason, or it's the entire foundation behind things like Chinese acupuncture. And so, the ancients knew about this, but science, sort of modern day science hasn't yet got to the understanding of chi fully yet. But we draw chi in primarily through our breath, so in through the nose or either in through the mouth. And when we meditate, we tend to breathe, we don't tend to breathe, we should be breathing in and out through the nose. And I'm going to explain why that's important now. So these energy channels, or there are some energy channels within the body. And there are three main energy channels which I'm going to be talking about today. There are actually 72,000 what they call nadis, which are energy channels, and these energy channels allow for chi and prana to be dispersed around the entire body. But aside from those smaller channels, which they call nadis, there are three primary energy centers, or energy channels I should say, within the body, which if you're interested in yoga, you will have heard of these. And one is a central channel, and the other two weave their way up and around this central channel. Now, the one on the right is called Ida. The one on the left is called Pingala. And the central channel is called Sushumna. I shouldn't have done that bit. Sushumna. And interestingly enough, these two channels are connected to the left and right nostril. And we alternate throughout the day which one is dominating, you could say. And when we do things like meditation, when we do things like pranayama, which is yogic breathing, we actually start to bring these energy channels into balance. Because ordinarily, as I say, throughout the day, we're favoring one or the other. And when we start meditating, if we do things like Nadi Shodhana, which is a method of pranayama, which is a breathing exercise, or meditation, we start to bring these energy channels into balance. And if I didn't mention it already, when we breathe in through the nose, we then allow prana to circulate through these energy channels. And springing off of these are 72,000 nadis, as I said, that disperse around the body. So when these two energy channels come into balance, which happens normally during meditation, this then opens the central channel. And I'll put these actually like that. And at the bottom of the central channel, and as I've spoken about a few times before, there is here what is known as the Muladhara chakra. So there is a chakra at the bottom, the root chakra is at the base of the spine. So chakra. And there are actually 6 other chakras within the body, and then another chakra that sits above the body. But today we're just going to be focusing on this bottom one here, Muladhara chakra. Within that chakra, there is an energy known as Kundalini. Kundalini is a spiritual energy that is dormant at the base of the spine within the Muladhara chakra. Now, by doing meditation and bringing these two energy channels into more balance, it then opens up this central channel, which is called Sushumna. Now, Kundalini at the base of the spine will be being facilitated, for want of a better way of putting it, stirred up in this base chakra. And once this central channel opens up, this Kundalini energy, it's a spinning, spiraling energy, starts to move up this central channel. Now, people think that Kundalini will just be one singular, immediate, explosive release. And it can be if you prompt it in that manner. But by doing meditations that are I would consider safe, you start to gradually facilitate this release. But it's such a volatile energy that the motion of it will, as it rises up this channel, will create the sensation of your body spinning for some people. And because it does spiral up that central channel, this will be why for some people they feel this sensation of spinning during or sometimes after they've meditated. So ultimately, it's a very, very ordinary thing to experience. I say ordinary, I'm probably better off to say it's a safe thing to experience. It means that it means basically that the energy within the Muladhara chakra, the Kundalini energy, is gently starting to be released. It means that these two energy channels have now come into balance and opened up this central channel. And essentially it's a good thing, because that is your spiritual energy that will start gradually to open up the various chakras in the body. And obviously we don't fully appreciate or understand where we're at. Most people assume that they've got their third eye open, or that they're enlightened and they're totally deluding themselves. For a lot of people, I'm told by my spiritual master that most people only have the first couple open. And so to facilitate the release of this too early on in your spiritual progression is very, very dangerous. You have to prime the student. The student has to be primed. The mind has to be prepared over many, many years before you kind of facilitate a great release, a great spiritual awakening like that. But as I say, Kundalini rests at the base of the spine, and as it releases, it creates this spinning motion, this spiraling motion up the Sushumna channel, and that will create this sensation of spinning to the practitioner. So if you're experiencing this, it's totally normal, it's totally safe, providing you're doing methods of meditation that are considered safe. So things like following the breath, following mantras, but not mantras that are very powerful, like Om, doing things that are more watered down. So like Om Namah Shivaya, things like this. Doing other general meditative practices that develop your focus and concentration. These are going to be safe. This will mean that the amount of Kundalini that is being released is only a small amount, and so it's within your capacity to bear. And this might sound like I'm trying to scare you off or put you off. And the only reason, or a big reason behind me putting an emphasis on this, is because I've had energy releases that have happened to me during meditation, and I can assure you, you do not want to facilitate too much energy to be released when you're not yet prepared for it, because it is terrifying. I fortunately was doing exercises that was considered safe, and so the amount of energy that was released for me was obviously within my capacity to bear at that time, but it was still a phenomenal amount of energy. I couldn't believe how powerful it was. So be very careful as to the sort of methods that you're doing. If you want to know more about different meditation techniques, if you want to be part of a community where you can share your experiences, ask questions, if you want to access all my courses and my live sessions, which happen all throughout the week on Zoom, then please feel free to join us. I'll put a link to my school community below. It's called the Inner Journey Community. And I would love to see you in there. So yeah, please come and join us. I'm going to leave it at that today. Thanks so much for watching. See you on the next video.